I didn't actually get a chance to introduce you properly yesterday, so I'll do that now. Next to me, I have Tanja Polegubic, who runs Saltwater Split and has been instrumental in making this event happen with a few partners. She's been singing the praise for digital nomads, remote work, co-working for the last 3 years in Croatia, and we heard a bit about her earlier from Ginny. So without further ado, I'll pass over to Tanja.
Mask switch. Thank you, Michael. Thank you everyone again for joining us on day 2. This is our last live recorded session, but there is plenty happening for European Freelancers Week 2020 here in Dubrovnik. You'll hear about that at the end from Michael. Indeed, I do. We have a question for all our panelists. It's quite similar. So this session is about a recap. So what we've heard over the last few days and a bit of reflection from these key panelists here tonight. And the question is, first of all, we'd love you to give us an introduction in person now that you're here, and what your reflections were on yesterday, and what's next for the city of Dubrovnik for digital nomads.
Thank you very much. First of all, on the beginning, I would like to thank you guys that really were pushing in organizing this. When Mr. Paul, when he came to me and proposed things, I think we were very quick in deciding how this is important. As I heard from my deputy, you had a fruitful day yesterday, and I think that we send a good message to digital nomads all over the world that they are welcome to come into Croatia and more than welcome to come in Dubrovnik. Why Dubrovnik? Dubrovnik is very unique town, very nice, very small, very cozy, and very, very friendly. Of course, nothing could happen without fast internet. And this is where Dubrovnik is going. We are now investing more than 10 million euros in the fast internet, together jointly, using, of course, EU funds, joint with TCOM. We are really doing our best in order to be a good homeland place for digital nomads. And we are really hoping that very soon we will be the center of digital nomads in Croatia. We are very proud of Mr. Jan de Jong that actually took the idea of implementing digital visa for nomads here in Croatia, and that he spoke with our Prime Minister, and Prime Minister really replied very quickly and said, yes, we are up for it. And we, thanks to Mr. Paul, we actually react very quickly, and we said we want to be part of this great story. Why is that? Why Dubrovnik wants to have digital nomads? I don't know, is there a possibility to play just 2 pictures of how Dubrovnik looked like back in 2015? You see that? This is something that should not happen ever again. And that's why I said very often that Dubrovnik is thanks to COVID on one side, because it gave us opportunity, this big crisis, to make a big turnover of Dubrovnik tourism. So this is something that should not happen ever again. This is why we want to go in completely different directions such as digital nomads, film industry, and etc. All of those clients can bring something new to Dubrovnik tourism that has in the focus the citizens of Dubrovnik. Because this is what I repeated many times. When the citizen of Dubrovnik is happy, the tourists are going to be 15 times happier. If they are not satisfied, and no one can be satisfied when you see this picture, then you're providing lack of service. And the quality of provided service is then very poor. So this is why we are going in completely new direction of managing Dubrovnik tourism. We are very happy that next year, in the April, we will have a big digital nomad conference. And again, thanks to you and all achievements that you did and all ideas that you had. And the good thing is that then we will have even more people here. We hope then the medicine and everything that needs to prevent COVID will be ready on the market and the tourism will start to flow. And we will take this opportunity to take Dubrovnik in some new dimension. This is all for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mato, for that. As you may have noticed, I have suddenly morphed into someone else. Welcoming back Anna Hrnić, the Director of Tourism. I'll pass back to Tanja for a question for you, Anna.
Thank you, Michael. We're socially distancing and capturing everyone in the camera angle, so you can't see us, but you can hear us. The question to Anna, if you could please give us your reflection on what you heard and have learned yesterday from digital nomad perspectives from around the world, and also what's next for tourism Dubrovnik with the digital nomad audience segment.
Good evening, everyone. Once again, nice to see you all. First of all, I would like to say that I am very happy and proud not only to host this event in Dubrovnik, but also to be a leader of this initiative in Croatia. And I have to say this is all thanks to Paul, Tanja, and the team. So it's really valuable to have such a great people with you and with such a great initiatives, with such great projects, especially in these challenging times. We know what we are facing at the moment, but we heard Mr. Mayor what he already said. I will not repeat his words, but definitely this digital nomad tourism, this story is definitely matching perfectly on a path we are planning to take in future and using this crisis as a great opportunity for the future. What I have heard and learned these 2 days definitely helped me to get the wider picture of what digital nomads need, what are their requirements, the expectations, their experiences. This was definitely something very interesting for me to hear. I'm following definitely very strongly everything that Paul is publishing lately. So this is all very interesting for me and very useful. Regarding our future plans about digital nomad tourism, as you already mentioned, I'm definitely looking forward and we will be working hard on preparing this great event for April. I'm sure that this will be great story as this one was, and we will definitely work hard on positioning Dubrovnik and communicating Dubrovnik to digital nomads around all the world as a perfect destination for their future visits and for their future living, hopefully. Yesterday I was talking about Dubrovnik and what we have to offer, and I mentioned how people in Dubrovnik are very warm and welcoming, and I didn't mention how citizens of Dubrovnik are very proud on their city, and I'm sure they will be not only great hosts, but also great ambassadors and great tourist guides in a way for all people, all digital nomads who decide to come here and experience everything what we offer. So I also hope all of you that are physically with us these days, that you had the chance to experience Dubrovnik in the best possible way. And those of you who are online with us, I hope to see you very soon, all in person in Dubrovnik. Once again, I would like to thank you all. Thanks really to all the team for coming, for helping us do this thing. And I want to tell you also that you will also in future definitely have our full support in whatever needed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anna, for that. Next up, we're going to move over. I just want to clarify, yesterday when I introduced Jan, I didn't make clear what he was growing, and the answer is tomatoes, nothing else than tomatoes. So we're going to now have a question for Mr. Jan de Jong from Tanja.
Thank you. So Jan, please give us your reflections from yesterday. You already know a lot about the digital nomad scene in Croatia. Did you learn anything new? And also, what's next for you for the work you are doing with the Digital Nomad Visa and the association?
Thank you, Tanya. I mean, first of all, once again, congratulations to everybody that was part of organizing this amazing event. I mean, it really has exceeded all my expectations. I didn't know what to expect when I came here, but this is overwhelmingly amazing what is happening here yesterday and today. To reflect on what happened actually yesterday, I have to say that, you know, I've been living in Croatia for past 14 years. And also, if you would ask other Croats what they think about Croatia, I think that we are always looking a little bit at this country through colored glasses. We are all in love with this country. Also, if you would ask the diaspora, I mean, I always say that you can take a Croat out of Croatia, but you can never take Croatia out of a Croat. And if you ask diaspora all over the world what they think about Croatia, it's the most amazing country ever. But to hear somebody like Cashley yesterday talk about Croatia the way she did, for me, that's just a confirmation that we're actually right in what we're saying. And that was truly beautiful to see. For me, the next steps are that, first of all, next week on Thursday at 10 o'clock, I have another meeting with all the ministries, including State Secretary of Interior, Teresa Gras, Ministry of Finance, Labor, Health Insurance, and Pension Funds, where we are going to continue having constructive meetings on everything that we need to put in place in order to start welcoming digital nomads to Croatia as soon as possible. Regarding the Udruga, the association, we still have to officially found it, which we hope to do in the following weeks. Then after that, because we have already received some unofficial pledges from really big companies in this country that are also going to offer their financial support to the association. So once we have officially incorporated this association, we can actually put ink on paper and start receiving also the financial contributions, the donations from those big Croatian companies who all want to help us to enable Croatia to turn it into the digital nomad hotspot of Europe, potentially even the world. So there's a lot of work ahead of us, but I'm sure that with combined efforts from all the lovely people that are involved in this, that we're going to make this a amazingly big, successful story. So thank you so much for also the city of Dubrovnik for hosting this amazing event. You're all being very, very good, very nice, very great. Thank you.
Thank you, Jan. I just want to add before handing back to Michael, you do need a booking agent because you're speaking everywhere, and no, it's not going to be me. So if anyone's looking for an online job, you need that.
Thank you very much, Tanya. Next up, we have another new face with us. Maybe you've read him. I'm sure you would have it. We have Paul Bradbury, who's a blogger, a writer, and owner of Total Croatia News. And he's dedicated, I don't know how many years, to dragging Croatia through the Trača into the future. So welcome, Paul. We have a question for you from Tanya.
It is a question and hopefully a long answer. Paul was in the audience yesterday, copious, taking notes like a madman to publish how many articles today?
Just 3 so far.
Yeah. And you are going to give us a recap on what it's been like sharing the digital nomad story in Croatia. So not just for yesterday and what you heard, because we can all read about it today in at least 3 articles, more coming. So please give us a recap of what it's been like sharing the digital nomad story in Croatia in the media, and what is next for TCN and digital nomads.
Thanks. I think one of the most exciting things about this digital nomad opportunity is the sense of discovery when people come across the idea, realize it's such a no-brainer, and then start to embrace it. And so let me tell you my personal digital nomad story. I've been writing online now for 10 years. So I guess I've been a digital nomad for 10 years. But for the first 8 years, I didn't realize I was a digital nomad because I'd never heard of the concept. And then about 2 years ago, I met Tanja, and we started talking, and I could see that her concept of co-working spaces, this was something new to me. I always thought that co-working spaces were like glorified internet cafes with coffee. But it was only when I really sort of got to understand what she was doing that actually this whole sense of community and a whole bunch of services for remote workers. And it was something that really was quite new to me. Soon after I met Tanja, I went to a conference in Zagreb, MBA Croatia, for Entrepreneurial Change 2.0. And there was a German guy called Andreas there speaking, and he was talking some crazy notions about if we could bring 100 remote workers that were influential, that could actually do things, we could transform the economy in Croatia within 6 months. I mean, totally nuts. And then my eureka moment, my moment of true conversion to the realities of where this could take Croatia was in June last year, when I got a request for a meeting with a Ukrainian and Russian couple living in Munich, who were digital nomads in Jelsa on Hvar, which is where I was living. And they wanted to rent my apartment for 3 months from April the 1st to June 30 the following year. And this is out of season for Jelsa. We have an 8-week season. And I met them, and they told me their story that basically they work in IT in Munich, and for 10 months of the year, the boss says you don't have to be at home. You can go anywhere you want in the world. And they decided to do 3 months in Jelsa because the girl she'd been there as a teenager. Then they went to Italy, to Spain, to Portugal. And when they came to Jelsa from April the 1st to June the 30th, they got up in the morning, they swam, they went for a coffee on the piazza, then they went to work in Munich. They took a break, they had lunch in a local restaurant. They went back to work in Munich, and then they went for a swim in the evening, and then they went for dinner. And they were taking Croatian lessons, they were engaged in the community. And basically here was a couple that were not traditional tourists, but they were spending more money in Croatia. And they were here not for the sun and the sea and the 2-week experience, but they were here for the lifestyle. And at this point, I realized that Croatia had a massive, massive, massive opportunity to cash in and develop something which it has such an advantage over so many countries in the world, but doesn't really utilize its lifestyle. And so we have this whole concept of Croatia full of life, which is a slogan which sounds sexy, but doesn't actually say anything. And if we could translate this into Croatia, your safe, authentic lifestyle destination, we're sending 3 messages out to the world of we're a safe country to be in, we have authentic experiences, and we have great lifestyle. I then realized with the pandemic that, we heard from Kashli yesterday that there are supposed to be 1 billion remote workers in the world by 2035, 1 billion. And I think now with the pandemic, that number is probably a little bit higher. And if Croatia, with its amazing lifestyle, can start to attract some of those people, then we are going to have a complete reset of our tourism strategy. And so what I realized was that more and more people today work in the same office, and the office is called the internet. And there are only 2 basic differences in the office today. One is connectivity, 3G, 4G, 5G, and one is time zones. And apart from that, we're the same. More and more people, when they leave the office, they go home, and some of them want to go home to the village they're from and their friends and their family. But more and more people are looking to come home to lifestyle, to experiences. If you can leave the office and go for a swim in the Adriatic or a coffee on Stradun, isn't that an amazing thing? And so if Croatia has this, the best lifestyle in Europe, because we're very safe, we have great English, we're connected, we're affordable, we have authentic experiences, we have everything here. And if more and more people who are looking to work remotely are looking for lifestyle, why can't we repivot everything that we have in terms of tourism towards addressing that amazing opportunity? And these people who come, they are wealth creating, they are mindset changing. They can drip feed the mindset in Croatia so that we can give people a lot more hope here. And rather than emigrating, we can look at developing skills here in Croatia. We talk about places like Osijek, where we have thousands and thousands of people emigrating. But we have a digital nomad from Denver, Colorado, a single woman, and she spent 6 months in Osijek as a single woman. She said it was one of the safest places she'd lived, amazing people, one of the most affordable places, great nature, great experiences. She said it was one of the best places she'd ever lived. And so as thousands of people emigrate, we have people coming in who see the beauty of it. And so I think this is a really, really interesting opportunity for Croatia to develop a completely different strategy, which doesn't devastate the coast, which doesn't have over-tourism. One of the most exciting things for me about this whole thing, as I mentioned at the beginning, is how you explain something to somebody and they see the light. So just as I met Tanja 2 years ago and I understood that co-working spaces was a lot more than just glorified coffee for an internet cafe, so with my writing, we've managed to influence a few people to think a little bit different. And the biggest success I have is this man over here, who in May called me and asked me for some advice about a tourism conference he was going to speak in. And I sent him a few articles, including digital nomad tourism. Now, Jan has a completely different skill set to me. He's obviously a lot more successful than me as well. But he saw the opportunity and he has really embraced the digital nomad opportunity, and he's really pushed for the visa. And so this is something which, you know, we've been able to play our small part in, and it's been developed by people like Jan. We then came down to Dubrovnik and we spoke to Anna and to Mato. We have a concept now for, rather than focusing on mass tourism here in Dubrovnik, we have a concept to do 12-month sustainable tourism, and they were superb. They absolutely embraced it. And you know, Tanja with her thing, with her amazing vision, is another senior player in this. And there are so many people who have a small part to play, and the more that we can talk about this and develop the thing, I think the better for Croatia. And this really could be a game changer for the Croatian economy, for Croatian tourism, and we can stop the emigration and we can really develop this in a very, very sustainable way. And I truly believe that, you know, and I'm very, very proud that we've had a little bit to play in this, and I'm very passionate about it. And I was talking yesterday with somebody who came to the conference who didn't know much about digital nomad tourism at all. And you could just see the wheels moving in the brain as this fairly obvious thing was explained to her for the first time. And that, to me, is one of the most exciting things, is that with this movement, we're reactivating people's imagination, and people are coming in and have different skills to offer. And I think it's hugely exciting.
Thank you very much, Paul. We're going to shift to an open Q&A session now. I'd first like to say to everyone that's on Zoom at the moment, and for those that were here yesterday, if you did ask a question that we didn't manage to answer, we'll definitely be sending the answers to you. We have people collecting the questions. So I'm going to start off not with a question, but just, again, kind of backing up what Paul said, which is from Fatima, who said, I'm an American that traveled to Croatia 5 years ago. Since then, I've traveled to Croatia 5 times, most recently this September. I even brought a friend from New York. I think the digital nomad visa is a great idea. I started a business and plan to take advantage. So 100% like Paul said. Tanja, shall I ask you a question? Is that possible? Because somebody's asked, are there any work-share spaces, co-working spaces with high-speed internet connection in Dubrovnik?
Did you make that up, or is that right? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, Frederick. I don't believe there are, and I have a little bit of an bit of thing to add to this. I don't like to talk about my own story much. I'm usually in the background, but thank you everyone for making me say things out loud. When I was coming here from Australia, I was looking at where on the coast to set up a co-working space. I'm not connected to Split. I've chosen it because it seemed like the best option. I'm very happy that I have. I had considered Dubrovnik, and for various reasons, it didn't fulfill what I felt digital nomads wanted, and I believe I was right back then. It has definitely changed. I would really like to open a saltwater in Dubrovnik is my answer, so that's why I asked, did you make that up?
I didn't make it up. As we can see, Frederick Royster, he's a real person. He's on Zoom right now. He is not my alter ego. So yesterday we talked about workspaces being a key place. So we've got 2 people here that can make that happen, I hope. Moving on, besides legislation, Jan, which will be sorted out with the Nomad visa, what else could Croatia do to attract nomads? What do you think Croatia is missing currently that maybe some other popular countries for nomads have?
I actually think that the biggest promoters of that kind of lifestyle among digital nomads are actually going to be the digital nomads that are going to come here first. So what we, for example, as an association want to do is we want to really, let's say, give a warm welcome to digital nomads when they come to Croatia. We want to make sure that they have at least one go-to place that they can contact if they have any kind of questions. We want to therefore, for example, have a hotline or a concierge service offered to digital nomads, so that if they have any kind of question, and that can be like, hey, I twisted my ankle, where should I go? Or we are planning a trip to Pula, what should I go and see? That kind of an engagement with digital nomads, because I think that if that's the way we're going to engage with them, that they're going to be blogging, vlogging, tweeting, and posting about Croatia and the amazing experience that they're going to be having here within their own communities of digital nomads. And that's what I think is going to eventually then snowball into more and more digital nomads coming over to Croatia to experience the Mediterranean lifestyle. Was that an answer to your question? Was there... So what is missing in Croatia? Was that it?
What else could Croatia do to attract more?
I mean, I think that definitely in certain parts of Croatia, including some islands, perhaps faster internet. So, but again, you know, also for that reason, I had a meeting with Kostas Nebis, the president of Croatian Telecom, who has given his support in everything that we're doing from day one. And they, as the #1 telco in this country, they want to make sure that Croatia really can receive those digital nomads and that there is good enough internet speed for everybody wherever they are in Croatia. So yeah, I think that everybody sees a great opportunity in this, even telcos in Croatia.
Can I just add to that? I think one of the key things that we need to focus on now is education locally, because people are now starting to hear about this digital nomad thing. And first of all, it was kind of some hippie thing and so on. And then you know, things start to develop and people think there's maybe an opportunity here. And so some people now are offering digital nomad friendly accommodation, and they think that, you know, having like Wi-Fi and a bed means that you're digital nomad friendly. And there's a lot more to this because these people who come, they're coming for lifestyle. So they're coming for things like a social life. They're coming for, you know, things to see and do and so on. And these are things that if we can educate local people to understand the needs of what our visitors have, I think this could really, really push forward Croatia as an attractive destination. We have so many authentic experiences here in Croatia that we take for granted. I have a friend who runs a luxury tourism tourism company on Hvar, and he was taking a bunch of rich New York tourists to an olive grove for olive tasting, and he saw this one New York guy, and he was plucking a lemon from the tree, and he said to the guy, "This is my biggest memory, my most special moment from the whole trip, because I'm a New York businessman, and I've never ever been close to a lemon tree in my life, and to be able to pick that lemon and cut that lemon and put it on my fish foot, that's an incredible, authentic experience." And we have so many of these in Croatia that we don't even think about. And the fact that he now sells that tour, plucking lemons for I don't know how many hundreds of euros, but people are happy to pay it. And so if we can get into the understanding what it is that people want from Croatia, and we can learn how to provide those services, we will be far ahead of everybody else, because we have the lifestyle. We just need to know and understand what it is that we have and how to sell it.
Tanja back here, not on camera, exactly right. And it's really important to note that this is transitional. So to Mato and to Ana, so from the city and tourism perspectives, whether you're in Dubrovnik or anywhere in Croatia, this can't happen overnight, and that it is an added pressure to get it delivered and right. But, you know, digital nomads are aware that this needs time, and, you know, it'll be testing, as Jan has mentioned, as well, test the pain points and see what it is. So it really takes a collaborative effort.
Thank you, Tanya. Another comment from Tanja, who says that when thinking about digital nomads, don't forget the families as well, or couples. The families out there, there's a huge homeschooling community who love to travel, and their parents are the digital nomads who absolutely love staying longer term in places with their kids so they can expose their kids to other cultures and countries while learning hands-on. So when it comes to creating, say, digital nomad visas, to think about that as well. Jan, I don't know if you have anything to comment on that in terms of scope and digital nomad visa.
Not much comment actually from my side on that. I think that this is something that we would obviously then have to discuss also with, for example, Ministry of Education, to see how that would be done. I don't know if that's something that that digital nomads that come to Croatia with kids that are being homeschooled, whether they have to take care of that themselves, or I'm not sure if I'm the right person to answer that question, honestly. Yeah.
Fair enough. I just want to say Cashly is online. Thank you, Cashly. She's saying Jan, spot on a few times, everything. Actually, she's just saying, Jan, spot on. Tanja, definitely think about these families. Where were we? And also, Mahina backs it up. The 45 Degrees sailing team caters to many location flexible families, and they love coming to Croatia for weeks before and after their trip with us. It's definitely a niche that needs more exploring and catering for. So I don't know if there's anything you could add, Anna, about being family friendly, or how Dubrovnik can cater to family needs.
Well, first of all, we were already mentioning the importance of the fact that Dubrovnik is extremely safe city. So I think this is also one point when we are talking about the families, families with children coming to Dubrovnik. It's amazing when you see this is even strange for people coming from Zagreb, for example, to see how people and children in Dubrovnik are living freely, going out, playing on the playgrounds with no worries at all. So I think this is also one of the strengths that we should also emphasize when actually promoting and talking about Dubrovnik as a digital nomad destination. It's a definitely children and family-friendly city. So this is also something that we definitely should emphasize. So it's a good point. It's interesting. Personally, I was somehow, when we are talking about digital nomads, usually the first thing that comes on my mind are usually solo people going, young people living in different cities, working from there. But definitely this perspective of families with children is one interesting thing to be considered, and thing to be focused on when communicating all the strengths that Dubrovnik as a digital nomad destination is offering.
Thank you, Anna. Cashly backs it up, saying, world schooling is one of the fastest growing subsection of travelers in the world right now. Obviously, if anyone here has kids and had to take on the schooling themselves during the Corona lockdown and school lockdown and stuff, there's obviously a big reason why world schooling, homeschooling is growing so much. Mato, I don't know if you can add anything to that about homeschooling families.
The only issue actually there is the possibility for the kids to have the online school. This is very important for the families, of course. Over here in Dubrovnik, we do not have international schools, the mid school and high school. We do have international colleges, two of them actually, which are having the sessions on English. But otherwise, the issue is and the problem is the international mid school or high school. And this would be wonderful if the families, of course, could organize for themselves via internet, of course, which is now possible everywhere in the world. Actually, all the countries are doing that, and I do assume that that is going to be possible in the future times as well. So that would solve the issues considering the families. As Anna said, we are very, very safe town. So actually, all of us can leave their kids wherever, and you cannot be afraid of anything because the crime scene is very, very low, hopefully here, and we do hope that that's going to stay like that. This is why we are actually promoting things, as Paul said, as lifestyle destination. Croatia, all Croatia is lifestyle destination, actually place where you want to go without wondering if something is going to happen. Mainly, our citizens are now, most of them, especially in the villages, which are very, very beautiful, they're not locking their houses, you know. You just leave it like that, go around, go in the shop, come back, and that's okay. And that's normal in Croatia. So I assume the issue about the internet and things that we as a city are doing in cooperation with Telecom, presenting and implementing fast internet, not just in the city side, but also in suburban area where the villages are, because this should be the advantage of the city of Dubrovnik, the villages, place where people can enjoy, can feel the countryside, feel the life, and have the quality of life the same as in the middle of city. You know, having the sewage system, water system, nice roads, and of course the fast internet, which is very, very important for digital nomads.
Perfect. As somebody that lives in a village in Croatia, the internet is extremely fast. I'll tell you that for free. I don't lock my doors. And also in Split, I don't sometimes lock my car doors, and I've never had my car stolen. So extremely safe. One other
Not a
question.
great car, though.
What's that?
It's not a great car.
It's a Skoda. It's a Skoda. Okay. Hey, watch it, you. Someone's being left in Dubrovnik. So one other question for the mayor. Does Dubrovnik have any activities supporting entrepreneurs or digital nomads to potentially open businesses here? Is this something that happens at the moment or something you're thinking about?
This is something actually that we are working on. The issues and the idea about digital nomads is a new idea. And of course, a lot of things need to be implemented there and need to be created as a new product, actually. So we have different ideas, which we will present very soon, and especially ideas about the workplace. You know, the possibility of taking some space for a very low amount of money, creating a digital nomad area or digital nomad house center or something like that. This is all on top of our mind. And we are thinking about how to implement that as fast as we can in order to be ready for the next year. And we do have a good ideas now, but I will not present it tonight. Give us a chance in order to present it on the conference in the April, when we will be already ready for give to the world announcement what Dubrovnik has done. So in order of saying something that will be done now, we will say what is done already in April next year.
Thank you very much. Another comment from Cashley. This is all great information for you guys to think about. Local education is so key, Paul. Informing locals who have tourism-based businesses that digital nomads are coming and that they are not the one and done type of day tripper like the cruise people, yeah? They have the opportunity to resell them over and over. Also, other popular digital nomad countries are pros at attracting the target clients, the correct digital nomad that you want, keeping them there and having them come back over and over. Let's take Bali, for example. A local cafe will have cute hammocks for the Instagram pic, big work desks and Wi-Fi for business meetings, cheap menus that nomads can afford day after day, and helps nurture like-minded people to come together and collaborate, both within the digital nomad scene and with the local community as well. So a few things to think about there and how to work with private businesses and also to market yourself. I think we've got time for one more question. Tanya, did you have one more question or a comment for the mayor? I see you wrote something down.
Oh, it was answered and better than I could have added my comment on. Oh, yes.
Do you have one more? Oh. Okay, we've got one more question for Paul. In 5 years' time, what will you be writing about Croatia in terms of the digital nomad visa?
I'll be writing about your fast new car, hopefully. I'm hoping that in 5 years' time that I won't necessarily be writing about tourism in Croatia because there'll be nothing much to write about because things will have developed very well. What I see for Dubrovnik, for example, is this is also a very, very good opportunity to take the tourism story outside the city because we have amazing regional experiences to have in Konavle and in the neighboring countries of Bosnia and Montenegro, and that we can really develop Dubrovnik as a lifestyle destination, which is the culture of the city, but it's also the nature around the city. I spent a lot of time this summer on the Elafiti Islands, on Kalamata and Lopud and Šipan. And to be on somewhere like Kalamata, which is just half an hour by ferry from Dubrovnik, but it's one of the most incredible islands of just nature. And there's the hotel owner said that there's no music here because we have the birds and the trees and the water. That's the music we have. It's a totally different experience to downtown Dubrovnik. But for people to be able to have that kind of experience and come into the city and have the city life, if we can come up with a strategy that embraces all of that, then we can really take this stereotype of Dubrovnik, which is just this city, and it's a whole experience around the city, and it offers different things to different people. Digital nomads are backpackers. They're also CEOs of big companies. So it's not just one type of tourist that we're targeting here. We're trying to get people who want to have a lifestyle according to what they can afford. And here in Dubrovnik and all over Croatia, we have an incredible diversity of excellence that we can offer. And people that come here may want to do a month in Dubrovnik, they may want to do a month in Split, and then a month in Osijek and a month in Zagreb. If you can think over 12 months to live remotely in Croatia, how many extraordinary experiences you can have traveling around the country. And if we can come together and come up with a strategy like that, then I think it could be absolutely sensational for this country and for its economy. And in 5 years' time, I'll be writing about something completely different, or probably be dead, I don't know.
Thanks for ending on such a solemn note. So thank you. So the panel you've just seen in front of us were key in moving on this event, taking it from an idea and making it happen. There's been hours of phone calls, meetings, Zoom meetings. There's been blood, I guess, tears, gin, rakia, coffee, everything, yes? So Tanya, is there anything you'd like to add? Actually, first of all, a round of applause for the panel, please. Clapping is still allowed, I believe. Tanya, any final remarks?
Absolutely. This was delivered to a very short time frame, and as we saw with Ginny and Daniel earlier, pivoting really quickly, really adapting. Everyone has really pulled a lot of things to get this delivered to where it is. So we're very grateful to everyone. Something that I don't think has been mentioned is that there are plenty of co-work spaces other than Saltwater around Croatia. And also, Dubrovnik does have places you can co-work already. The cafes on Stradun, some of the digital nomads in the room today, I've been seeing you every day as I walk past. I'm a digital nomad here in Lazareti. You can start now. You don't have to wait for a co-working space. I'm really excited about what's coming for digital nomads in Croatia, the event next year in Dubrovnik particularly, and I expect across the rest of Croatia, as this has surely inspired other cities to start looking at what they can be doing. Of course, we do things in Split. It's really been a privilege, and there are a lot of people that I want to thank, but I'm going to do them in general categories. All the speakers, a lot of them gave up their time, did not charge speaker fees. Thank you all. Everyone tuning in person and also on the Zoom, this conference is for you, so thank you. Our sponsors, we have them all listed throughout our program, and we've been rotating them throughout the conference. The venue and the staff here at Lazaretti, you've been amazing. The AV team, they need a round of applause, especially. The volunteer team, I'm not naming you all know how much you have contributed. These volunteers are all actually pros in what they do. And again, didn't charge for their time and labor, so amazing. Paul, especially, this journey has been great. So Total Croatia News, Jan de Jong, who's physically rolled up his sleeves and got certain sponsors on board, and he didn't have to. And most of all, the city of Dubrovnik and the tourist board, thank you so much. That's another round of applause. And thank you, Michael. Over to you.
And a massive thanks for Tanya. A round of applause. So we're coming to an end now. Our journey here isn't ending. We're off to Lokrum tomorrow. Thanks to Otok Lokrum, we're going for brunch. But unfortunately, yes, the conference is coming to an end. We've had 2 days packed of announcements, information, giveaways. We've learned how Dubrovnik is home of many firsts, the pharmacy and the quarantine. It's full of nature, culture, traditions, a place where people can come and relax or get active. There are wild summers, I meant to say warm summers and mild winters, but you can also have wild summers here. Sun to basking, cafes to relaxing, and just like the movies filmed here, you can find action, you can find thriller, and you'll find a few surprises along the way. Hopefully nobody will get stabbed. And remember that for next week, you've got co-working in Lazaretti. That was a reference to Game of Thrones, just saying there. Next week, you have free co-working in Lazaretti, so solving the co-working space for 1 week. Oh, maybe. And next, so the question for all of us is, will Croatia be the next digital nomad hub? Well, Cashly was sure of it, but this is our rallying call to the public sector. Be proactive, be flexible, move things faster than you've ever moved things before, work together to make sure that we all prosper, both digital nomads, the public sector, and the citizens, wherever we may be. Words are wind, so back them up with actions. To the private sector wanting to work with digital nomads, support us to support them. Continue to offer your quality and value, but make sure you provide something that's a bit longer term than before and based on relationship building, just like we heard yesterday with Polegubic. And finally, to all those digital nomads interested in Croatia, come and visit us. Let us know that you're here. Be patient, work with us, tell us what you want, share information widely, and help us showcase what works, and we can use that as a foundation. Thank you to everyone that's attended, both here and online. I've been Michael Freer, and this has been the first Digital Nomad conference in Croatia. Thank you very much.